In this GIS Pro tip, let's examine the workspace environment setting in ArcGIS Pro and see how the different levels of environment settings can be applied to better manage our data. Geoprocessing environment settings are additional parameters that affect the results of a geoprocessing tool that are controlled outside the tool in a separate dialog. There are actually 4 levels of environment settings, including at the application or ArcGIS Pro level, the individual geoprocessing tool level, and in Model Builder at the model or model process level. These form a hierarchy where the application level is the highest, but can be overridden by different settings at the tool, the model, or process levels. Let's see how this applies with the important Scratch workspace environment, which controls where output data is written when running tools, models, and scripts. The data that I'm working with comes from Konza Prairie Biological Station. I have 3 feature classes in my contents, including the overall station boundary, internal boundaries or watershed treatments, and surface streams. In Model Builder, I've created a simple model that, based on a user's choice of watershed or treatment, clips the surface stream feature class, creates a new table that sums the total length of stream segments in meters, adds a new attribute field to that table, and then uses that field to store stream length values that have been converted from meters to kilometers. To review the environment settings being applied at the application level, go to the Analysis tab and find the Environments button. As you can see, my current and Scratch workspaces are both set to the same file geodatabase called GIS Pro Tips. Unless changed, ArcGIS Pro will automatically set these environments to the project's file's default geodatabase, which in this example is GIS Pro Tips. Back in Model Builder, let's also review the model level environment settings by clicking on Environments in the Model Builder tab. Again, both the current and Scratch workspaces are set to the project's default geodatabase. Before I run the model, let me point out that I have 3 outputs that are being generated: the selected watershed polygon, the clipped stream segments, and a table containing the total length of those streams in that watershed. Since the workspace environments of both the application and model point to the same places, I should expect those outputs to appear in the GIS Pro Tips geodatabase. Let's see. Now that the model is complete, I'll refresh the project geodatabase to verify that each of the outputs have been written. And indeed, all 3 are there. Next, let's rerun the model, but this time change the Scratch workspace environment at the model level to direct the output data to a different location. But before I do, let me first delete the current content of the GIS Pro Tips geodatabase. Now, at the model level, I'll change the Scratch workspace to a different geodatabase in my project, this one called Konza Data. When I run my model again, the hierarchy of environment setting levels dictates that the output will now go to Konza Data rather than GIS Pro Tips. Now that this model run is complete, I can verify that the GIS Pro Tips geodatabase remains empty, and my model outputs have now been written to Konza Data instead. GIS Pro Tips is empty. And now we can see in Konza Data demo clip streams, demo selected watershed, and demo stream length stats. The environment settings made at the model level have overridden the instructions set at the application level. All of the available environment settings are an important and often overlooked feature of GIS work, but paying close attention to the Scratch workspace is essential for good data management. I hope you found this GIS Pro tip helpful. For more tips, follow Geography and Geospatial Sciences on Facebook or Twitter. If you want to learn more, consider taking a GI Science course at K-State or even major in Geographic Information Science and Technology.